From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Cascade Paint and Supply is Reading's oldest family-owned paint store, established in 1953. We are the largest Dunn Edwards dealer in the nation, and most of our products are made in the U.S. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff are ready to answer your questions and help you today.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are inching closer and closer to the storm. And the storm is inching closer and closer to us, let's put it that way. And we're starting to get better details as we kind of start to see at least the beginning phases of the storm. As we get into the weekend, we'll start getting better details there as well. Let's get you into it, right? And we're going to start off by talking about the chance for some afternoon showers, mainly for Delaware County and parts of Siskiyou County. Otherwise, I think the rest of us are going to be dry today. It's kind of the calm before the storm, if you will, for most of us. But by tomorrow, this is when it all starts to kick in. The rain, the wind, the snow levels beginning to drop on Thursday, and then we continue to see the heaviest chances for showers and thunderstorms on Friday, right? We're talking about the chance for thunderstorms too, which we'll get into that here a little bit later. Snow levels continue to drop, and I'm expecting the best chances for delays, at least travel delays, if you're going to be traveling in the mountains or even just north of Reading on I-5, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And it's not just going to be for the snow, it's going to be for the wind. It's going to be for the heavy rainfall too, all right? So just kind of keep that all in mind. Now, looking at your forecast for today, here you go. For the valley, I still think we're going to see some sunshine out there. The clouds may be on the increase through the afternoon, but dry for the most part. Siskiyou County, yeah, maybe some activity, maybe even out towards Modoc County as well, but not a lot, okay? So don't cancel any outdoor plans over it. And Eastern Mountains, you should be looking at dry conditions today. Now, for the North Coast, Delaware County, northern Humboldt, yeah, maybe a chance for showers, especially this afternoon. Inland, places like Hoopa, up northward towards Gas Key, for example, yeah, a chance for showers. But south of that, central and southern portions of Humboldt County, looking at dry conditions. And then Trinity County, most likely looking at dry conditions as well. All right, so here's what I'm watching. This is a graphic that I've been kind of showing you here since the beginning of the week, and haven't changed it a whole lot, but just still looking at the chance for heaviest snow above 3,000 feet. That's where I expect the most amount of snow. You get below that, there's going to be some accumulating snow, even down to as low as 1,000 feet, right? But it's above 3,000 feet where we're going to see the most significant amount of snow. So when we're talking heavy snow at 3,000 feet, that is a big deal because we have a lot of mountain communities that are within that elevation, and that's going to create problems for travel as well. So that means travel delays with possible closures on Thursday, Friday, and maybe even into Saturday, right? And then the gusty winds, especially for Thursday and Friday, not as bad on Saturday, but still gusty. And again, this is the timeline I've been showing you the last few days as well. Not much change here. Again, high impact for tomorrow. Winds will be strongest tomorrow. And then we do expect snow levels still fairly high. Around 4,000 feet, give or take. They'll lower through the day on Thursday, but they're going to start off fairly high. Now, Friday's big impact because not only will it be windy, but we'll be looking at lower snow levels. Now, this is when we see better chances for delays when it comes to mountain travel, 2,000 to 3,000 feet, starting at 3,000, lowering to 2,000 feet later in the day on Friday. And on top of that, as I mentioned, maybe some thunderstorms in the valley, and not to mention even along the coast. Moderate impact on Saturday. And the reason I say that is because the rain and snow won't be as intense, the wind won't be as intense, but we're still going to be feeling the aftermath, if you will, from Friday. Okay, and then on Sunday, it looks like things are kind of wrapping themselves up before, believe it or not, I'm actually tracking the potential for some more wet weather and more low elevation snow toward the beginning of next week. But let's get through this weekend first, right? Before we really start focusing on Monday, Tuesday, because that's something that is most likely going to change because the forecast models haven't been very consistent with Monday and Tuesday of next week. So again, we'll get into that a little bit later. But look at this. Here it is, the storm. We're beginning to see it begin to take shape. Here's the trough of low pressure right here. Cold, cold air. The main pocket of cold air is here, but that cold air is really pooling down. You see the speckled clouds? This is classic cold storm system that's moving on in. You can see right here, that's the flow of moisture. So we have the moisture source right here. It's going to tap into that. And yes, this is when we start to see things begin to happen. So let's take a look at the overall setup. It's trending colder. There's that pocket of colder air I was just telling you about, right? This is slowly pulling down in our direction. Now, it will be over us the cold air will begin to start to really move in and filter in on Friday. But we're still looking at the coldest air to our west. Also take note of the positioning of this low pressure system. For Thursday and Friday, you've got the flow around that low. There's the jet stream right here, and that jet stream is kind of aimed right at Northern California. So for tomorrow and Friday, we're looking at those really strong winds because of that, but also we're seeing that moisture streaming in, so we've got the rain, we've got the snow, we've got that moisture source, if you will. But look what happens as we go into Saturday. That low pressure system, number one, weakens, but number two, now we're not within that flow, which is right here now, okay? So we're not going to see as much activity here. The winds won't be as strong. We're not going to see as much rain and snow, but don't let that fool you, because there still will be some snow showers out there that could still create some travel delays, okay? So Saturday is kind of the storm system exiting, but there will still be some leftover activity. That moves out by Sunday, but remember I was talking about, look at this right here. We got another pocket of cold air that could have an impact on our weather come Monday, Tuesday of next week, all right? A long ways out, but something we're watching. And still looking at the below normal temperatures in the long range. So that colder air, it's going to be in place for a while. Here's what it looks like today at 1 o'clock. We're beginning to see showers maybe move in for Del Norte County, and then that may progress eastward through the day into Siskiyou and into Modoc County. And you'll notice a little bit of activity developing in the mountains east as well. But overall, most of the activity is confined off towards northern Humboldt and into Del Norte County. Now we're beginning to see things begin to take shape Thursday morning. All right, so snow levels starting off probably around 4,000 feet, lowering throughout the morning. But there you can see the heavy rain, gusty winds. Not a lot of activity in the valley just yet, but we're probably starting to see some showers. That cold front pushes eastward. Now we're seeing a period of heavy rainfall for parts of the valley by around late morning to early afternoon, starting off late morning for Redding, and then probably early afternoon for places like Chico as it pushes through. Snow levels at this point still about, I'd say around 3,500 feet. Look at I-5. We're still looking at mainly in the form of rain, but it's beginning to transition to snow by the noon hour on Thursday. Now we go into Thursday at 5 o'clock, 2,500 to 3,500 feet. Now the snow levels are dropping. Take a look at this. Look at Highway 299. That's a lot of snow on Buckhorn Summit, Oregon Mountain, Berry Summit, right? I-5, we're seeing snow there. We're seeing snow obviously east of I-5 as well. It's beginning to taper off a bit, not quite as heavy at this point, but then we go into your Friday morning, 2,000, 2,500 feet. Look at I-5. Look at all of that heavy snow on I-5. Look at all of that heavy snow on Highway 299, not to mention 36, not to mention east of I-5 as well. So now when we're seeing snow levels drop this low, this is when we start seeing major issues when it comes to travel. And on top of that, we could see some thunderstorms popping up as well, not to mention along the coast. So snow levels still low through the day on Friday. So here's a severe outlook. When we have the light shade of green, what this is basically saying is, yeah, there's a chance for thunderstorms. And that's essentially all we have to really worry about. We're not looking at, remember last week where we saw the tornadoes and the works, right? We were within that margin of the slight. We're not in that. We're just looking at the potential for this colder air. It's unstable, and it could produce some thunderstorms on Friday, and which would mean hail and gusty winds associated with that as well. So a lot to really take in here, right? Then we take a look at the forecast rain totals through 11 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, not a lot of rain, at least through the morning, but by the afternoon, we'll see these totals really start to ramp up for the valley, and of course, over an inch most likely for parts of the coast. And this is just through Thursday. That's not including what we're going to see on Friday and Saturday, not to mention even possibly Sunday. Snow totals through 11 a.m. on Thursday as well. Again, we're beginning to see more snow in those higher elevations. We're beginning to see maybe a bit of a mix towards Mount Shasta City through Thursday morning, maybe a little bit of a mix towards Etna. And just maybe, I'd say probably still in the form of rain, even Thursday morning for places like Weaverville and Hayfork. But again, we're starting to see better signs of this lower elevation snow. All right, let's take a look at Futurecast long range now. We take you into Saturday. Now, what we're seeing here is the potential for more activity. But again, notice where the trough of low pressure is now. We're not seeing as much activity by Saturday, and especially even into Sunday, as a weak ridge tries to build in. However, that being said, Sunday, still some snow flurries out there. This is going to continue to create problems here when it comes to travel. So don't let that fool you when I say, yeah, things are really starting to quiet down a bit as we go into Sunday, but still looking at the potential for snow flurries. Now, this particular forecast model is very aggressive, with Monday and Tuesday seeing some rain and even some low elevation snow. The European forecast model, less aggressive. So we'll see. For now, I'm going to put that chance in there for Monday, Tuesday of next week, and maybe even Wednesday. But there you can see by Wednesday, this model starts to kind of dry things out. But again, let's get through the weekend, and then we'll start talking about in more detail over the next few days as we go into early next week. But just be forewarned, if you have plans even early next week, there may be some issues you'll be dealing with. So again, we've got to watch that closely. Here are the rainfall totals with the long range. Take these numbers with a grain of salt. I do anticipate probably 1 to 2 inches of rain once all is said and done. Again, it depends on who sees the thunderstorms and who doesn't, right? And that's going to really be a big difference as far as how much rain you end up seeing. But yeah, some significant amounts of rainfall are a very good possibility for places along the coast, which could mean the potential for some flooding. We got to watch for that as well. So there hasn't been a whole lot of talk about flooding, but when we're looking at rainfall amounts of this high and ground is already saturated, something we got to at least put in the back of our minds to think about as we progress and get closer to this system here. All right, let's take a look at the winter alerts, and boy, it's just filled with colors, right? Because now we've got a blizzard warning in there because of the gusty winds. We've also got a winter storm warning. Remember yesterday I was showing you this map. I said most likely this will all be in the form of pink, talking about a winter storm warning. So the timing is basically for Wednesday night through Sunday morning. Okay, these are snow totals. I spent some time last night kind of just really looking at all the different areas and trying to really pinpoint where most of the snow is going to be. Now, I think what this model with these colors here is coming in from the GFS forecast model. I don't trust the numbers that are coming in from the GFS. We could see a mix maybe as far south as Red Bluff, but I think the best chances for a mix at this point look to be around Redding, City of Shasta Lake, Palisadro, maybe Anderson, maybe Cottonwood. Okay, as you start heading south of Cottonwood, the chances for a mix are slimmer. Now you take a look at these totals here. These are numbers that I have put in here. All right, so Alturas most likely seeing the least amount of snow. I think 10 inches may be kind of on the high end, probably closer to the low end here. Susanville could see upwards of a foot. I think we could see a possibility of 2 feet or more of snow in places like Chester. There's a chance I think we could see over a foot of snow in Bernie, probably over a foot of snow in Quincy. As you start heading south into the northern Sierra, that is, we're starting to see more and more snow, measuring it in 3, 4, 5. I'm seeing reports of upwards of 5, 6, 7 feet. Okay, ton of snow is expected in the Sierra. Okay, this is too much, way too much. But I think Hoopa could see 2 to 4. Maybe upwards of 8 to 12 inches, 6 to 12 possibly in places like Weaverville and Hayfork. So again, now you can see why travel is going to be a bit of a concern. Now there's been talk about maybe some snow along the coast as well. Not out of the question. For now, I'm calling for a mix, maybe getting a better handle on that as we get closer to the weekend. Wind alerts. Here we go. We have more to talk about, right? Thunderstorms, rain, possible flooding, snow. Now we got the wind to talk about here. Look at the high wind warning for the areas, kind of that teal color. Light blue is where we have the wind advisory. Now this is mainly for tomorrow. This is not including what we're going to see on Friday, because we got gusty winds on Friday as well. But there we are today. The wind's starting to pick up, especially along the coast. But by midnight tonight, this is when the winds really start to ramp up for the coast, getting gusty for the rest of us. By around mid-morning, we're seeing really gusty winds for the valley, 40, 50 miles per hour. And then, of course, looking to the east of that, looking at some gusty winds as well. Now, the winds will subside, but still gusty even Thursday afternoon. And then going into Friday, look at this. We're not seeing much relief from those winds. They're going to stick around for a while. So power outages are something we've got to really be aware of as well. Here's your wave heights for today. They will start to increase, though, as that storm system approaches. I mean, we're talking gale warnings by the time we do get into Thursday when we're talking about that marine forecast. So today, you'll notice I've just got the chance for rain in there. Eventually, we'll start to include a gale warning in that forecast here for your marine forecast going into tonight and tomorrow. All right. Now we can just kind of breathe and take a look at the forecast here, get you through the day today. Temperatures upper 50s, low 60s. I'm not going to go into too much detail of that 7-day forecast because that's all we've been talking about in the last several minutes, right? So we see today fairly dry for the south end of the north coast. But as you head out towards Del Norte, northern Humboldt County, chance for showers today. All right, and not to mention the north end of Humboldt County, inland areas seeing chances for showers. For Orleans, Hoopa, maybe Willow Creek seeing some showers, and then showers towards places like Gas Key as well. Here's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures will be in the low to mid 50s for your daytime highs. Could see a chance for showers today, but those chances are pretty slim. Mainly dry for Modoc County, looking at, of course, that chance for rain. Moving on in, heavy rainfall at that, and not to mention snow down to about 3,500 feet or so. Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, dry today, but of course that all changes by tomorrow, those gusty winds too. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 50s for today. And your Valley neighborhood forecast, I'm expecting dry conditions today as well. Temperatures in the low to mid 60s. Mid 60s south end of the valley, head north probably somewhere in the low 60s. There you see about 59 for Lakehead, 58 for Whiskeytown. There's Red Bluff with a high of about 64 degrees. And taking a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding, windy for your Thursday, Friday. Could see some thunderstorms on Friday. Now, there's still talk of snow in the valley. Again, I don't want to kind of ignore that. I haven't talked a whole lot about that. Here's what I'm going to say about that. Okay, so I think the best chances for us to see snow and accumulating snow at that would probably be sometime around Saturday night. This is when some of the coldest air will be in place. But I'm still tracking the potential of a mix come Saturday. Sunday, we're not expected to see a ton of activity in the valley. So we could see a mix, could see some snow in there as well. And then Monday, Tuesday, I'm bumping up the snow levels for Monday, Tuesday. I want to put a disclaimer in there. There are models that are lower than that. And there are models that are indicating that it could be very close to the north end of the valley again come Monday and possibly even Tuesday of next week. But again, that's something we need to tackle over the next couple of days because we've got to get through Thursday, Friday, and of course this upcoming weekend.